Jai Jai Shri Chaitanya Jai Nityananda Jai Advaita Chandra Jai Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram 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 Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna Hare Krishna Hare Rama संकीर्तन की जय। पतित पावन श्री चैतन्य महाप्रभु की जय। जगत गुरु श्रील प्रभुपाद की जय। ओम अज्ञानतिमिरान्धस्य ज्ञानाञ्जनशलाकया चक्षुरुन्मिलितं येन तस्मै श्रीगुरवे नमः। श्रीचैतन्यमनोभीष्टं स्थापितं येन भूतले स्वयं रूपः कदा मह्यं ददाति स्वपदान्तिकम्। वन्देऽहं श्रीगुरोः श्रीयुतापदकमलं श्रीगुरोन् वैष्णवांश्च श्रीरूपं साग्रजातं सगणा रघुनाथान्वितं तं सजीवं साद्वैतं सावधूतं परिजनसहितं कृष्णचैतन्यदेवं श्रीराधाकृष्णपादान् सहगणा ललिता श्रीविशाखान्वितांश्च नमो विष्णुपादाय कृष्णपृष्ठाय भूतले श्रीमते भक्तिवेदान्त स्वामिन्निति नामिने ते सारस्वते देवे गौरवाणी प्रचारिणे निर्विशेष शून्यवादी पाश्चात्यदेशतारिणे नमो महावदन्याय कृष्णप्रेमप्रदायते कृष्णाय कृष्णचैतन्य नाम्ने गौरतुषे नमः। हे कृष्णकरुणा सिन्धो दीनबन्धो जगत्पते गोपेश गोपिका कांत राधा कांत नमोस्तुते। तप्त कांचन गौरांगी राधे वृंदावनेश्वरी वृषभानुसुते देवी प्रणमामि हरिप्रिये। वाञ्छाकल्पतरुभ्यश्च कृपा सिन्धुभ्य एव च पतितानां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः। Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shri Vasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare Mukam Karoti Vachalam Pangam Langhayate Girim Yat Kripadam Vande Shri Gurum Dinatarinam Paramananda Madhavam Shri Chaitanya Ishwaram. Hare Krishna. So welcome everyone to Jagannath Mishra feast. Actually, this class should happen during Prasadam, as the name suggests. Glorifying the Prasad and accepting the Prasad. So it's a very auspicious occasion. Yesterday was on a weekday, so many people came. That's really wonderful. And that shows that how Lord pulls his devotees. There are many newcomers also. But they had come for Holi. It doesn't matter. They were here, hearing Gaur Arati, taking darshan of the Lord. And many of them might not know also who is Gauranga and who is Nityananda. But it's so wonderful that just by taking darshan of Sri Gauranga Mahaprabhu and hearing the Kirtan, honoring Prasad, all this itself will help them to advance in Krishna consciousness very, very fast. So I'll just cover some few pastimes, the childhood pastimes. So basically the next day of the appearance of the Lord is celebrated very nicely. We can see this in Krishna's pastimes also. That how when Krishna appeared, the next day Nanda Maharaj, he celebrated very nicely. He gave a lot of charities and a lot of different things. Similarly here, when the Lord appeared in Kali Yuga as Sri Gauranga, next day there was a festival in the house of Jagannath Mishra. That's very nice to see that how Lord appears. It is described that Lord entered the heart of Jagannath Mishra and then the heart of Sachimata and then the womb of Sachimata. And then he appeared. And it is described that when he appeared, he was smiling. Why will he cry? He has come to deliver everyone. So he was smiling. And when he appeared, everyone in that area, Navadvip area, since it's about lunar eclipse, everyone was going and taking bath and chanting Hari Hari. It is very nice. It is very nice to note that Lord has come for a particular purpose. Chaitanya Bhagavat, there is a famous shloka. Ajan ulambita bhujau kanakavadato sankirtanai kapitarau kamalayatakshav Vishwam bharo dvijavaro yugadharma palo vande jagat priyakaro karunavataro. So it is described that these two personalities, Gauranga and Nityananda, are sankirtanai kapitarau. They are the ones who have come to spread the glories of Sankirtan, to spread the glories of the Lord. Samyak Rupena Kirtan. Before this, before they appeared, it was not so common, wherein people will go on the roads and chant. So after the Lord appeared, he, along with his associate Nityananda Prabhu, he did this miracle of pulling people on the streets and chanting. There are various pastimes where Lord is taking a Nagar Sankirtan and lakhs of people are joining. And it is described that even personalities from heavenly planets, they will come down to dance. Once Lord Shiva came down, and it is described that he was doing Tandav. Obviously he was disguised, but then his steps were Tandav Nitya. So you never know in other sessions who come, sometimes people do Tandav. So here, we understand that they have come to spread the holy name. And we understand that when the Lord appeared, at that time, everyone was chanting the holy names. Even before the Lord started his Sankirtan personally, it already started. That's the greatness of our Lord. Without speaking, he made everyone chant the holy names. It is described everyone means everyone in the entire town. So the Hindus who were there, they were entering the waters and they were chanting Hari Hari. And the Muslims and others who were there, they were looking at them and teasing Hari Hari. Like this, everyone in the entire place, everyone was chanting Hari Hari. And in that Hari Hari situation, our Hari appeared. In this way, Lord appears. And it is described that he was so beautiful. Or he is so beautiful. Normally, small kids are very cute. In Brahmacharya, they are not supposed to touch them. Small kids are very cute. So just imagine the cuteness personified, the Supreme Personality of Godhead. He is the most beautiful personality. If we see, we never call Lord as handsome. It is a known fact that females are much more good looking than men. So they are called as beautiful, and men are called as handsome. So Lord is much, much more beautiful. We cannot put how many much in that. But then he is like very, very beautiful. So he is called as beautiful. Now just imagine, when the Lord in his baby form, how beautiful he will be. When Jagannath Mishra and Sachi Mata, when they saw the baby, they were completely mesmerized. Completely mesmerized. They were completely enchanted. And very, very happy. Very, very happy. When the Lord entered the womb of Sachi Mata, it is described that various celestial personalities would come and they would do parikrama. Now, I was just going through Chaitanya Bhagavat. I was trying to find where is Jagannath Mishra festival. So there it is described that Vrindavan Thakur is saying, I pay obeisance to Navadvip Dham, I pay obeisance to the house of Mother Shachi. So it's very nice to note that so many Devi Devtas, they would come and they would circumambulate the place. They would come and give various gifts to Jagannath Mishra and Shachi Mata. They would come and take darshan of the newborn baby and they would pay obeisance. So even before the baby was born, this was happening, and after the baby was born, the same thing was happening. And it was very astonishing that as soon as the Lord appeared, naturally there was continuous happiness in the entire place of Navadvip. Jagannath Mishra and Shachi Mata. See, continuous happiness in the material world is not possible. Their hearts were completely filled with happiness. And it was this ongoing, it was almost like a permanent happiness in the temporary world. And not just Sachi Mata and Jagannath Mishra were happy. Anyone and everyone around, all of them were happy and no one knew the reason. They were feeling blissful. Just feeling blissful. This is a wonderful thing. When the Lord appears in our heart or in the hearts of someone else also. And if we are there in that association, we will feel blissful. So when we invite the Lord in our hearts, only at that time we can expect that in this material world, we can have some bliss, some bliss, some happiness. So as soon as the Lord appeared, what happened? What is festival all about? So Nilambar Chakravarti, he came. I'll open the Chaitanya Bhagavat PDF which I had. So Nilambar Chakravarti, he came. Nilambar Chakravarti is grandfather. Maternal grandfather. Kitna confusing. Father of Shachi Mata. Father of Shachi Mata. That is Nilambar Chakravarti. Nilambar Chakravarti was a great astrologer and he was Tattvadarshi also. So who has seen the truth. Very exalted in his devotional service. So Nilambar Chakravarti Thakur, he came. And then the horoscope, so he made the horoscope. And then he was seeing that how all the whatever grahas in those houses, they call it as, right? So they were in the perfect place. Perfect place. In fact, what happened is when the Lord entered the womb of Sachi Mata, it was nine months over. Now they were expecting, now maybe the baby will be delivered. Then it was 10 months. Then became 11, 12, 13, and the tension of these two personalities were increasing, Jagannath Mishra and Shachi Mata. So at that time, Nilambar Chakravarti Thakur had told them that a very, very great personality is appearing in your place. So he is waiting for the best of the best muhurta to manifest. So it is described that it was the best of the best muhurta. And all the planets had arranged themselves in such a way that the entire astrological calculations was very, very auspicious. Very, very auspicious. In this way, when Nilambar Chakravarti Thakur, he was looking at various houses and the planets. So he's seeing that how great this personality is or will be. I'll read some sections where Nilambar Chakravarti Thakur, he is giving his prophecy. A much accepted prophecy in Bengal was that someday a king would be born in Bengal as a Brahmin's son. So the king of Kali Yuga is Sri Gaurachandra. So Sri Chakravarti thought that only the future would prove whether this was the child. In the presence of all, Sri Nilambar Chakravarti began explaining about the astrological signs in the Lord's chart. He said, "The child will conquer Brahaspati, the sign of learning and education. He'll be a great scholar. He'll be a natural repository of all divine qualities." Present in that gathering was a great saint in the guise of a Brahman who made predictions on the Lord's future. So Nilambar Chakravarti Thakur spoke. He said that he'll be a great learned scholar and all that. And then there was another saint who was present in the assembly and he started speaking. His name is unknown. Who was that saint? Even this Nityanand Prabhu, the sannyasi who came to take Nityanand Prabhu, even his name is unknown. Know who that personality was. So hidden people. The Brahmana said, "This child is Supreme Lord Narayan himself. He will establish the essence of all religion. He will initiate a wonderful preaching movement and deliver the whole world. He will give everyone that which is forever desirable, even by Lord Brahma, Lord Shiva, or Lord Shukadeva Goswami." So what will be he delivering? Krishna Prem, without seeing qualification of anyone. Upon seeing him, people will feel compassion for all living entities and become callous towards material pains and joys. This will be the great benediction for the whole world. Not to mention ordinary men, even hardcore atheists will worship the child's lotus feet. And if you see that even Mlechas of that time, even the Kazi, he also would be worshipping Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. After Chaitanya Mahaprabhu went to his place with a huge rally of lakhs of people, and then when he realized, even he would be having awe and reverence towards, I'm talking about Chand Kazi, he would be having awe and reverence towards Nimai or Gauranga. Upon seeing him, he will be glorified throughout the entire creation and people from all orders of life will come to worship him. That day we were discussing about Jagai Madhai's Uddhar. So in that, when Yamaraj was talking to Chitragupta, and when Chitragupta told that the sins were huge, but this great personality, Sri Gauranga, has vanquished all the sins. So at that time, Yamaraj was dancing and fainting. And when he fainted for a long time, the other Devi Devatas came and they chanted the holy names. Yamaraj got up, and Yamaraj again started dancing ecstatically to such an extent it became contagious, and everyone there present, everyone started dancing and jumping in ecstasy. And they all were glorifying the magnanimous, merciful nature of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. It's so nice that we have taken birth when the Lord appeared in the age of Kali. It is described that Lord appears once in the day of Brahma. Can you imagine that? And we have appeared in that, we have taken birth in this particular yuga. So there are 71 Divya Yugas, 71 Divya Yugas. And in that, 71 Divya Yugas, 14 Manus. So 7th Manu is going on and 28th Divya Yuga is going on. Exactly sort of middle. So now Krishna appeared, and then Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu appeared, and then Prabhupada appeared. Can you imagine? And then all of us have taken birth. So before that also was a problem, during that was also a problem, but now, when everything is set, when things are clear, how to practice devotional service, we have taken birth in this wonderful time, the golden period. So it's very nice to meditate on our fortune, our great fortune, to take up devotional service very, very seriously. He is the personification of pure Bhagavat religion, the benefactor of Brahmanas, cows, devotees, and the affectionate, devoted son of his parents. This child has come to accomplish great works, just as Supreme Lord Narayan incarnated to re-establish religious principles. Who can explain the imports of this child's exalted astrological and esoteric symptoms? How fortunate you are, Sri Jagannath Mishra, a leader amongst men. I offer my obeisances to you, the illustrious father of his child. So when Jagannath Mishra, when he heard all this, he paid obeisance. And in this personality, the saint, he also paid obeisance to him, understanding that he is the father of Supreme Personality of Godhead. And then it is said, I feel greatly fortunate that I could calculate his astrological chart. His name accordingly will be Sri Vishwambhar. In the presence of Nilambar Chakravarti Thakur, this particular name was given, Vishwambhar. He will be known to all Navadvip Chandra. He will be known as Navadvip Chandra, the moon of Navadvip. And we have a Mayapur Chandra also, right? In Mayapur Dham, the Mayapur Chandra. The Brahmin did not speak further about Lord Chaitanya. You know what he didn't speak? He didn't speak about Lord Chaitanya taking sannyas. That particular thing, because it's not festival time, everyone is in festival mood, and then he says your child is going to take sannyas. Even Lord's parents does not like if the kid is taking sannyas. So here, this particular point was not told from the astrological chart. He was a poor man with few possessions, yet great jubilation, Sri Mishra fell at the Brahmin's feet and cried. The Brahmin also caught Sri Mishra's feet, and everyone present shouted, Hari, Hari, in great joy. The relatives and friends were all praised for the child, and they blessed him as they heard the supernatural predictions about his future. Now, what was the festival all about? I was just wondering, what was the festival all about? And here, the description was given. Soon, musicians arrived playing their respective instruments, Mridanga, flute, shehnai, and filled the air with wonderful music. Now, what happened is, ladies from higher planetary systems also came. In fact, this was very common. Now, when Lord was there in the womb, from that time itself, it was very, very common. So it is said, ladies from higher planets mingled freely yet unnoticed with the ladies from earth in this wonderful gathering. And then here comes Aditi, the mother of all the demigods. And she placed her right hand holding the auspicious grass. So even when we do Abhishek, we put Durva grass in our finger. That's very auspicious. And then here it is said that, and paddy on the child's head to bless him, saying, long life. Please remain. Now this is a prayer that she is making. Please remain eternally in this material world and manifest your pastimes. This explained the expression of long life. Such blessings we shouldn't get. Such long life is not needed. Srimati Shachi Devi and others noticed the extraordinary beauty of these ladies, but they hesitated to inquire about their identity. So celestial beings are coming, and they are coming to take darshan of the Lord. They are giving various gifts. They are playing music. They are singing, and they were very, very beautiful. Very, very beautiful. The demigod respectfully took the dust from Shachi Devi's feet, and she lost her speech in extreme exhilaration. Neither the Vedas nor Anantashesh could describe the waves of jubilation that drowned Sri Jagannath Mishra's house Entire Nadia seemed to be present at Sachi Devi's house to experience the undescribable joy. So this was the festival where everyone came. Everyone came to the house of Jagannath Mishra, and this great festivity where singing and dancing is going on. I don't know if Jagannath Mishra also fed the feast, but according to the name Jagannath Mishra feast, yes, he might have. And here it is described that wherever the people were, it also goes on to say some people were there in their houses also. So wherever the people were, in their houses or on the banks of Ganga or on the street, they loudly chanted Lord's name. Everyone jubilantly celebrated Lord's birth, unknowingly thinking the festivity was actually for the lunar eclipse. So even yesterday, if during Holi, if people are throwing colors and there's music, and if they're chanting some music where Krishna's name is coming, Hari's name is coming, surely they will also get benefit of chanting the holy names, glorifying the Lord during the appearance day of the Lord. Like these personalities got, the way it is given here. Yes, so this is the description that is given about what happened. And obviously there are many, many later pastimes which are there. The pastime where a lot of different items were kept. Prasad was kept, toys were kept, money was kept, Bhagavatam was kept, and other items were kept. And Nimai was left. And Nimai ran and he caught what? Bhagavatam, naturally. Now, I don't know if I would have been kept, I would have run surely to Prasad only or something else. But this actually, when this particular event happened, this particular pastime happened, it is described that everyone there understood that this personality is going to be a great scholar and a propounder of the philosophy of Srimad Bhagavatam. When it comes to the naming ceremony, we understand that all these ladies of Navadvip who are already in love, with Nimai. So, loving one's own child, that's not a very big thing. Every parent does. And when we look at the child of others, we also feel blissful, but not as blissful as what the parents will be feeling, right? But here, when Lord appeared, and when different people were coming to take his darshan, especially the ladies, they all were in complete love, with the Lord, just by taking darshan of the Lord. Very, very, very beautiful. And the ladies, they saw that, he has appeared under a neem tree. So they, with motherly affection, they gave the name Nimai. So some speaker was explaining that neem has got medicinal qualities. So thinking that this child will always be protected, they gave the name Nimai. And then some of them gave the name Gaurahari. Yes. And we saw this name Vishwambhar, by the astrologer. So in this way, multiple names were given by different personalities. So after all these pastimes, maybe one or two pastimes we'll cover, and then we'll stop. In his first childhood pastimes, the Lord turned upside down while lying on his bed, and thus he showed his parents the mark of his lotus feet. When the Lord tried to walk in his small footprints, the specific marks of Lord Vishnu were visible, namely the flag, thunderbolt, conch shell, disc, and fish. Seeing all these marks, neither his father nor his mother could understand whose footprints they were. Thus struck with wonder, they could not understand how those marks could be possible in their home. Jagannath Mishra said, certainly, child Krishna is with the Shaligram Shila, taking his childhood form, he is playing within the room. When Mother Shachi and Jagannath Mishra were talking, child Nimai, so here we can understand that the parental affection of Jagannath Mishra Shachi Mata was not different than Nanda Maharaj, Yashoda Maya, Dashrath Maharaj, and Kaushalya, and all of them, of the other incarnations. So their love was so great, even in Krishna Lila we see, that the opulence of the Lord, even when the Lord is showing, they are not able to believe and accept. Because the love was great. Similarly here, you see, they could never understand whose footprints they are. I was hearing in one class that Jagannath Mishra and Shachi Mata, they would hear ankle bell sound, when Nimai would be running around. But then they were sure because they had never put any ankle bells. And he would be running around and they would be hearing the ankle bell sound. And it's described one day, when they were outside and Nimai was the only one who was inside. So there were a lot of footmarks, footprints, everywhere. I don't know the reference where it is, but one of the sannyasis was saying that there are footprints even on the wall and the ceiling. So when Jagannath Mishra and Shachi Mata came, they saw these footprints and they couldn't understand, who. There was only one person, who else. Even another time, Nimai was there at home and Shachi Mata was out, Jagannath Mishra was out. Correct me if I'm wrong, a long time back I've heard. So he was in the cradle and it is described that no one was there and he broke many things which was there in the house. Okay? So many things in the house, and after that when they come back, they saw that various grains and other things all are out. The floor is on the floor is on the floor, and so many other things. But they never could understand who did this. But they always thought there's a ghost which has done this. Even when the Lord was there in the womb, when the Devi Devatas would come. So they were not able to see them, but they could see some shadow here and there. And sometimes they would be very afraid. And sometimes, when someone would run like that, there'll be people who will say, there's a thief, catch him. So never they could understand the glories of their baby, the glories of their son. While the Shachi was feeding the child from her breast, she saw on his lotus feet all the marks that were visible on the floor of the room, and she called Jagannath Mishra. When Jagannath Mishra saw the wonderful marks on the soul of his son, he became very joyful and privately called for Nilambar Chakravarti. When Nilambar Chakravarti saw those marks, he smilingly said, "Formerly I ascertained all this by astrological calculation and noted it in writing. There are 32 bodily marks that symptomize a great personality. These are the symptoms of Mahapurusha. And I see all those marks on the body of this child. There are 32 bodily symptoms of a great personality. 5 of his bodily parts are large, 5 fine, 7 reddish, 6 raised, 3 small, 3 broad, and 3 grave." So here Prabhupada is giving, what are these 32 marks? The 5 large parts are the nose, arms, chin, eyes, and knees. The 5 fine parts are the skin, fingertips, teeth, hair on the body, and hair on the head. The 7 reddish parts are the eyes, soles, palms, palate, nails, and upper and lower lips. The 6 raised parts are the chest, shoulders, nails, nose, waist, and mouth. The 3 small parts are the neck, thighs, and the male organ. The 3 broad parts are the waist, forehead, and chest. Then the 3 grave parts are the navel, voice, and existence. So in this way, there are 32 bodily symptoms of a Mahapurusha, and Nilambar Chakravarti Thakur could see all of them in this wonderful child. And he said, "This baby has all the symptoms of Lord Narayan on his palms and soles. He will be able to deliver all 3 worlds. This child will preach the Vaishnava cult and deliver both his maternal and paternal families. I propose to perform a name-giving ceremony. We should observe a festival and call for the Brahmanas because today is very auspicious. In future, this child will protect and maintain all the world. For this reason, he is to be called Vishwambhar." After hearing Shachi Mata Nilambar Chakravarti Thakur's prediction, Shachi Mata and Jagannath Mishra observed name-giving festival in great joy, inviting all the Brahmanas and their wives. And now there are some more pastimes which are said this which we have heard many times. After some days, the Lord began to crawl on his knees, and he caused various wonderful things to be seen. The Lord caused all the ladies to chant the holy names of the Hare Krishna Mahamantra on the plea of his crying, and while they chanted, the Lord would smile. Now, this is a very nice pastime where, right from childhood, even before he appeared, he made people chant. After he appeared, he didn't preach, but just by his crying, just by his activities, the people around, they were chanting the holy names. And here we understand, when the baby was crying, in various places it is described, that the people around, the ladies and the parents, they would try a lot by giving various things or whatever to make the baby keep quiet or stop crying. But then it would not happen. And someday, it is described, that these ladies started their singing or chanting or whatever, and at that time they realized that how by chanting the holy names, this baby is stopping to cry. And it started. The same thing started. As soon as the baby would cry, all the ladies of the place would come together and they would chant, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. And it is described that when they would chant the holy names, so this baby would stop crying, smile, and he would sometimes dance also. And again, when they would stop, he will start. Yes. And this competition would go on nicely. After some days, the Lord began to move his legs and walk. He mixed with other children and exhibited various sports. One day, while the Lord was enjoying his playful sports with the other little children, Mother Shachi brought a dish filled with fused rice and sweetmeats and asked the child to sit down and eat them. So I'll just read this section and I will stop. There's a nice section where Sachi Mata is giving him sweets and he's doing something with that. But when she returned to her household duties, the child hid from his mother and began to eat dirt. Something similar to Krishna Lila. Seeing this, Mother Shachi hastily returned and exclaimed, What is this? What is this? She snatched the dirt from the hands of the Lord and inquired why he was eating it. Crying, the child inquired from his mother, Why are you angry? You have already given me dirt to eat. What is my fault? Fused rice, sweetmeats, and all other eatables are but transformations of dirt. Everything comes from the earth, so I was talking about that. Please consider, what is the difference between them? This body is a transformation of dirt, and the eatables are also a transformation of dirt. Please reflect upon this. You are blaming me without consideration. What can I say? So there Lord Krishna opened his mouth and showed the universe, and here Lord is opening his mouth and actually giving a wrong philosophy. And now he'll be corrected, by his mother. Astonished that the child was speaking Mayavad philosophy, Mother Shachi replied, Who has taught you this philosophical speculation that justifies eating dirt? Replying to the Mayavad idea of the child philosopher, Mother Shachi said, My dear boy, if we eat earth transformed into grain, our body is nourished and it becomes strong. But if we eat dirt in its crude state, the body becomes diseased instead of nourished, and thus it is destroyed. In a water pot, which is a transformation of dirt, I can bring water very easily. But if I pour water on a lump of dirt, the lump would soak up the water and my labor would be useless. The Lord replied to his mother, Why did you conceal self-realization by not teaching me this practical philosophy in the beginning? He's still a baby. Now that I can understand this philosophy, no more shall I eat dirt. Whenever I am hungry, I shall suck your breast and drink your breast milk. After saying this, Lord smiling slightly, climbed on the lap of his mother and sucked her breast milk. So basically, Lord did not get any scolding for eating dirt. That's what happened in both the Leelas. That's what we can see here. Thus, under various excuses, the Lord exhibited his opulences as much as possible in his childhood, and later, after exhibiting such opulences, he hid himself. So I would like to pause here. Yes. So we'll stop the class and we'll celebrate Jagannath Mishra feast by honoring feast. Abudi.
Recently that you mentioned that when Krishna appeared, so all the stars came in the correct place and astrological calculations also became perfect. When Chaitanya Mahaprabhu appeared, he waited for the best of the best mortals.
Okay, why he waited? He could have just appeared and then they could have done. Okay. Not sure. I'm not sure about this. You all want to say? So when the blue much. Why? That's the answer. So, that's true. The Lord appears, He can manifest and everything. But here there's a different pastime that we can see. He's coming as a devotee. He's waiting. And more than that, this thing is very nice that during lunar eclipse, all this chanting and other things are going on. Yes. But anyways, Lord could have done that just like that also, as you are asking.
Like out of the 32 symptoms you mentioned, so if let's say someone has 10 or 11 symptoms, so he's also some part.
No, means they are pious and they are, that basically shows the background of how the past life was. They were pious and things like that. Yeah. So you cannot say half, 90%, 50% Mahapurush or something like that. अभी आईने में जाके देख लीजिए कौन से सिम्टम्स हैं. ठीक है, थैंक यू वेरी मच. पतित पावन श्री गौर हरि की जगत गुरु श्रील प्रभुपाद की जय.